When life throws something unexpected your way, criticism from a friend, rejection from a job, or even a random comment online, how often do you feel shaken, angry, or hurt? If the answer is pretty often, you're not alone. Most people live their lives reacting to everything that happens around them. They let their emotions bounce around like a pinball machine. But what if you could learn not to react? What if you could stay calm, confident, and collected no matter what life throws at you? That's exactly what this video is about: how to remain unaffected. Remaining unaffected doesn't mean becoming numb or indifferent. It's not about pretending not to care or suppressing emotions. It's about having such deep inner stability that nothing outside of you can disturb your peace. It's about mastering your reactions rather than being controlled by them. Let's start with why we get affected in the first place. Every emotion we feel, anger, sadness, anxiety, jealousy, arises from our internal interpretations of external events. Someone insults you. It hurts not because their words have magical power, but because you interpret those words to mean something about your worth. Your boss criticizes your work. That stings because you link it with failure or fear of rejection. The outer world merely triggers what's already within us. So the first step in remaining unaffected is developing self-awareness. When something disturbs you, pause and ask, why is this bothering me? Is it my ego being challenged, my expectations unmet, my fear of loss or judgment surfacing? The more often you ask these questions, the less control your emotions will have over you. Self-awareness turns reaction into reflection. You stop running on autopilot and start responding consciously. To remain unaffected, you must learn the difference between detachment and indifference. Indifference says, I don't care about anything. Detachment says, I care deeply, but I'm not dependent on outcomes. Indifference closes the heart. Detachment strengthens it. Think of it like holding sand in your palm. If you grip it too tightly, it slips away. But if you hold it gently, it stays. Detachment is that gentle hold on life. It allows you to engage with the world while preserving your inner equilibrium. For example, an artist paints from passion, not for applause. If people praise the work, it's a bonus. If they criticize it, it's their right. The artist keeps creating because the motivation is internal, not external. That's what remaining unaffected looks like in practice, doing your best, and then letting go of the rest. Another way to cultivate unshakable calm is by consciously shifting your perspective. Most moments that disturb us are small in the grand scheme of life. A rude comment, delayed traffic, a rejection email, none of these will matter a year from now. Seeing this impermanence helps dissolve the intensity of the moment. When you change how you see things, you change how you feel about them. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Instead of reacting with anger, what if you thought maybe they're rushing to the hospital, or maybe they're just having a bad day? You're not excusing bad behavior. You're choosing not to let it dominate your state of mind. That single shift from judgment to understanding is enough to keep your peace intact. Perspective reminds you that every situation is temporary, and every emotion will pass if you stop feeding it with attention. The biggest obstacle to staying unaffected is the ego, that inner voice that constantly wants to be right, respected, praised, and seen. Ego thrives on reaction. It's quick to say, "How dare they?" or "They should know my worth." But the truth is, your worth isn't determined by anyone's opinion. When ego drives your emotions, you live on the roller coaster of validation and disappointment. When awareness drives your emotions, you step off the ride entirely. Here's a simple truth worth remembering. Those who know who they are need no defense. If someone insults you, it reveals their mind, not yours. When you truly understand that, you stop taking things personally. You stop giving people emotional power over you. In the words of Stoic philosophy, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of our suffering comes not from what happens, but from what we think about what happens. Letting go of ego is letting go of unnecessary suffering. Staying unaffected also requires inner discipline. Just like physical strength comes from consistent exercise, emotional strength grows through consistent practice. Here are a few daily disciplines that help build that resilience. Meditation. Spend 10 minutes in stillness every day. Observe your thoughts instead of identifying with them. The ability to watch your mind without judgment makes you less reactive in daily life. Journaling. Write down what triggered you during the day and why. Seeing your patterns on paper helps you understand them better. Minimalism. Simplify your life. The fewer attachments you have to things, people, or outcomes, the easier it is to stay unaffected. Presence. Practice mindfulness. Feel the moment fully instead of getting lost in past regrets or future fears. Discipline is not restriction, it's freedom. The freedom to remain calm while everyone else is losing their balance. Throughout history, great thinkers and spiritual teachers have explored this idea of staying unaffected. The Stoics in ancient Greece practiced apatheia, meaning freedom from destructive emotions. They believed that external events are beyond our control, but our response to them is always within our power. Similarly, in Eastern philosophy, detachment and equanimity are central. The Bhagavad Gita teaches acting with dedication while renouncing attachment to results. Buddhism teaches mindfulness and non-attachment as paths to liberation. These philosophies may come from different cultures, but they share one truth. Peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from mastering your inner world. Even when you master these principles, strong emotions will still appear. You're human, not a machine. The goal isn't to suppress emotions. It's to process them consciously. When anger, sadness, or anxiety arises, allow it to move through you without resistance. Feel it, breathe through it, and remind yourself it's temporary. For example, if you feel anger, don't immediately express it or push it away. Observe it like you would a storm. Notice where you feel it in your body. See how it rises, peaks, and falls on its own. This practice teaches you that emotions are just energy. They pass when you stop adding mental narratives to them. With time, you'll notice that emotions no longer dictate your state. They visit, but they don't stay. Remaining unaffected doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means maintaining inner clarity while interacting with others. In relationships, whether personal or professional, people will sometimes misunderstand, criticize, or try to manipulate. You can't control their behavior, but you can control your boundaries. You protect your energy by walking away from unnecessary arguments, saying no without guilt, refusing to explain yourself to those determined not to understand, surrounding yourself with people who respect your peace. Remember, peace is not selfish, it's essential. You can only give your best to the world when you're centered within yourself. People who remain unaffected often have something deeper driving them: purpose. When you live for something greater than validation or approval, petty disturbances lose their grip. You stop chasing short-term comfort and start serving long-term meaning. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Why am I doing what I'm doing? When your actions align with your values, external noise fades into the background. The most unshakable people aren't emotionless, they're anchored in purpose, values, and self-awareness. Here's a simple 3-step framework you can use whenever life tests you. Pause. When something triggers you, don't react immediately. Take a breath. Count to 3 if you need to. Create space between stimulus and response. Observe. Identify the emotion and the story your mind is creating. Ask, is this about the situation or about my ego? Choose. Decide consciously how you want to respond. Sometimes the best reaction is none. Sometimes it's clarity. The key is that you decide, not your impulse. This framework, practiced repeatedly, rewires your nervous system for calm resilience. At the heart of being unaffected is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means seeing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. When you accept reality, you stop fighting against what's already happening. The mental resistance drops, and peace naturally follows. If something can be changed, change it. If it cannot, accept it. Either way, suffering ends. The greatest strength often lies in the quiet mind that has learned to say, "This too shall pass." Think of people like Nelson Mandela, who remained calm and focused through decades of imprisonment, or Viktor Frankl, who found meaning in suffering during the Holocaust. These individuals faced unimaginable external circumstances, yet they maintained inner freedom. They proved that true power is not controlling the world, it's controlling the self. Even in daily life, you may know someone, perhaps a teacher, parent, or colleague, who handles chaos with grace. They seem unbothered, but not detached from their humanity. They've simply learned that peace is a choice, not a condition. To remain unaffected is to live deliberately. It's to stop giving every situation the power to shake you. When you stop chasing constant emotional highs and running from discomfort, you begin to live from a deeper foundation, one of balance and wisdom. Life will always test you. There will be roadblocks, judgment, and uncertainty. But you can meet it all with an inner stillness that says, "I will not be moved." You'll discover that while you can't control everything around you, you can always control how you move within it. So, from this moment on, let this be your quiet resolution. No matter what happens, my peace is my responsibility. Because when the world can no longer disturb your peace, you've found real strength. And that, right there, is the art of remaining unaffected.